Radio.
Guyana, join me on the Lall Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Lall Show only on Kaicho Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Namaste to all you wonderful listeners. It's Monday. I am very sorry I cannot be with you guys live because of an unfortunate incident that happened early this morning at the Kaicho News. I am here to inform you guys that a horrible incident once again reached the doorsteps of the Kaicho News. Last night, just after midnight, a lone gunman entered the building, stick up two of my security guards, put them to lie face down on the floor, and less than a minute after, two of his accomplices barged into the building and headed to the second floor, straight to the accounts department, wrench open the office door, break open one single desk drawer, grab the cash that was inside, pick up a steel safe, hurried out the building into a waiting car, and they sped away. No one was injured. It turned out that today's technology that I am so much in love with was able to capture them on video. And it is clear from the video recordings that one of my ex-employees was in the mix of this planned robbery. The police have since arrested him at his home, and at present, he and other employees are being questioned. Stay tuned for more updates as the story unfolds. The safe that they carried away contained millions of dollars, ammunition, and a single pistol. I will see you guys on Wednesday, God willing, and you will have an update. As for tonight, I am leaving you with a rebroadcast, which I think would be of interest to you. Adam, all Guyana is sitting back with their hands folded, doing nothing and saying nothing. Meanwhile, the politicians in government and the opposition selling all of us out. Yes, the government and the opposition selling all of us out. The same thing the leaders of Africa did, and their people are now living in pain and misery, Adam. Yes, just what they're doing here is the same thing the leaders in Africa did, and have the people living in pain and misery. I want to begin tonight's program by sharing a story with you, Adam, and to all of you out there, what I witnessed in Ghana. It has been on my mind ever since I took that trip to West Africa a few months ago. You know I was there in Africa, right? Yeah, I heard. Guyana is a little larger in size than Ghana, with a population of 36 million people. Adam, they have gold, tons of it, diamond, bauxite, timber, oil and gas, lithium in abundance. You know, lithium is the gold of today's world. Lithium has carry more price than gold today, and it's in more demand than gold. All that Ghana has. Uncle, you name the resources, and Ghana has it. Ghana was the last stop of the slave ships picking up their human cargo along the coast on their way to South America and North America. What you see unfolding presently in this country with the foreigners is the exact same thing happening there in Ghana with those foreign scavengers, especially the Indians, the whites, the Caucasians, and the Chinese. What I witness going on in Ghana has reached so far, or as we say in Guyana, it has gone, far gone, with no turning back. That's how I see it in Ghana. I took a 3-hour drive to get a glimpse of the dungeons in Cape Coast, where they used to imprison the captured slaves before they were shipped off to North and South America. And I couldn't believe my eyes with the many unbelievable, horrible things I saw along the way. I couldn't believe it. One of them was huge signboards alongside the highway in Chinese writing. I had to ask the driver, what's that? The man said, boss, we have them all over Ghana. That is to direct the Chinese to the different gold fields, diamond fields, lithium fields, etc. I asked if the locals can go to those fields, and he was prompt to say, no boss, no, we can't go there. We locals cannot even go into the trail. Only the Chinese can use those roads. He went on to tell me that the people of Ghana is getting nothing from the Chinese, who were fetching out all the gold, diamonds, lithium, and other rich minerals by the ton. And the government, yes, listen to this piece. The man said the government now realize that and is trying to correct the situation. Then he went on to explain that the government is now using the army and the police to drive them out the country. What the driver told me next, uncle, would certainly give you goosebumps. The driver said, boss, the police and the army was able to arrest some of the Chinese who were there illegally. But most of them have already become citizens of Ghana and living in the gold fields. So they can't do them anything. You understand what I'm saying, Adam? You hear that, uncle? Them done turned citizens of Ghana. So who can touch them? Who can stop them? Both done Ghana falls, and the government and the police hands are tied. Yes, they're stopping them from digging the gold. But when the army and the police come out the gold fields in the afternoon, the driver tell me the Chinese start working through the entire night. Yes, Adam. When the government close off for the day and come out the gold fields, the Chinese busy working in the night. And the police doesn't know how to deal with that. Anything beginning to resonate in your mind about Guyana? The driver said, boss, police and army just go back in the night. And when they catch the Chinese doing this stuff, them just transact them own business with the Chinese and come out quietly. So you all see what's going on there, Adam? The foreigners enriching themselves with the wealth of the Ghanaian people, and only some of them, the police officers, yes, the police officers and the Chinese people eating up the wealth. While the owners, the real owners, the citizens of Ghana, the true owners of those wealth, their hands are tied. And they're left to eat one meal a day. Saying nothing, doing nothing. Just like some of y'all in this country, Adam. Seeing everything was happening and nobody doing or nobody saying anything. What a smart and cunning way to thief the resources under the noses and eyes of the government and the people of Ghana by these foreign scavengers. The driver told me, uncle, the government doesn't know how to handle this situation they find themselves in with all these foreigners. They're at a loss right now. I could have only listened and smiled as he went on, describing a little of what is going on in Ghana with those foreign scavengers. Auntie, more than half of the 36 million population in Ghana working and surviving on less than 400 Guyana dollars a day. That is what they have to feed their families with. Man, sad is not even a word to describe what is taking place in that filthy, filthy rich country. Pathetic and tragic more fits the description of what's taking place there. On our way to the same Cape Coast that I was talking about, we drop in a few of the thousands of little villages along the way. And it was one horror story after another. It's a good thing I have a strong stomach and had some cash on me at the same time. I met a woman with 3 young children and give her 200 of their local money. $200 of the local money, which is about 5,000 Guyana dollars. She instantly began crying. And when I saw that, I walked away to another family next door in another mud hut. While driving away, uncle, when we left that little village and driving down the road, the driver said, boss, the woman was crying because she had to find $300 of their money to pay 4 months' rent. If not, the landlord were going to kick her out the next day. So she wake up early and pray to God for help. I told the driver to turn the car around and went back and give her the extra 100. I tell you, quiet, Adam, I'll give you a little more. It was at this stage when I handed her the $100. She said her husband is sick and can't move and couldn't move. Uncle, when I pull the cloth blind, a little cloth blind that served as a door to her little mud hut and peeping, Adam, her husband, no more than about 40 years old, couldn't get up from the floor of that tiny mud hut. Could not get up. But what really struck me was the hopelessness and helplessness that I saw in his eyes. Adam, you know, there are sometimes you witness in life. There are some things in life you witness in life that cannot be removed or erased from your memory. You know that? Well, that is one of them. He is still alive, and I am in contact. I'm still in contact with them. Trying to do a little something for that family. I share the story. I share the story with you because there are millions of families in Ghana. Not thousands. Not thousands. Millions like that. And worse than that, with all the riches I mentioned of that country. This kind of disaster and tragedy that is happening to the people of Ghana is because of their corrupt, selfish, and greedy leaders who only looking out for themselves, their friends and their families, and don't give a crap about the people who put them in charge. Anything I said there, Adam Harris, ring a bell about what is going on in this country? Who fetching out our goal? My goal and your goal, your diamond, our bauxite, our timber, our manganese, now our oil. Isn't it the foreigners?
Correct.
And who are allowing them to do so? Isn't it our politicians? And who's benefiting?
Foreigners and them.
Me or you? No. Three-quarters of our brothers and sisters punishing, begging, hoping, and lining up every day for a little handout, while the politicians' bank books are being fattened by the foreign scavengers who are raping this land. I am sometimes lost for words. Sometimes I feel numb about what is taking place in this country. The fastest growing economy on earth for some of them and their criminal friends and families. Adam, I want to share another tragic incident that caught my eyes driving through the capital of Ghana, city named Accra. Then the very next day after I visited Cape Coast with the same driver, we ended up in a long line of traffic. And in my mind, I thought it was a busy day. And knowing a very populated city, not realizing when we reach up closer, there was a set of men, well dressed in uniforms, stopping the vehicles. You hear me, brother? Groups of men, well dressed in uniforms, stopping vehicles. They didn't look like traffic cops or regular police or army officers. So I asked the driver, who are those guys? Adam, the answer with the explanation behind it give me an instant headache. I told the driver to turn around and take me back to the hotel. He said, no, sir, no. We have to pass them first before he can turn back. Uncle and auntie, those men in the uniforms, like I said, was not police or army officers. They were GRA officers, Guyana Revenue Authority officers.
The equivalent.
Not Guyana Revenue Authority, you know. Ghana Revenue Authority officers I'm talking about, in groups, stopping every hire car and demanding to see from the taxi drivers their tax certificates. You didn't hear what I said there, man. You want me to repeat? Stopping every taxi driver, demanding to see their tax certificates. Ghana Revenue officers standing in the streets in the capital of Ghana, Accra, in groups, checking to see if them poor taxi drivers paying the rightful share of taxes. This is how bad rich Ghana gone to today. They can't stop and check the foreigners from carrying away millions or in the billions of the country's wealth, but they're stopping the taxi drivers to see if they're obeying the country's laws by paying the rightful share of taxes. I reached out for my phone to take photographs, and the taxi driver nearly dropped dead. He said, no, sir, you can't do that here. By the time I could have put down the phone, one of the officers came up to the car window and asked me, did you take our photograph, sir? I said, why you ask? The driver began telling him in their language that I am not from Ghana. And he told the officer told the driver, to tell me don't take no photographs. If not, they will arrest me. You hear that, sir? Auntie and uncle, are you listening to me carefully? He gonna arrest me. Anything resemble Guyana here? Things coming clear to y'all? We are not there yet, but we are heading there. Continue folding your hands, closing your mouths, and continue to throw mala around these criminal necks. We heading there. Right there we're gonna there. The driver said, boss, you must have tax certificates at all times in the car. It is the law, which has to be renewed every 3 months. You hear that, huh? Every 3 months, not every year. If you don't have it to show them, can't eat your dinner, and you too. They have to drive. They have you drive to the station if you don't have it. seize the car right there, and send you to pay the taxes. Then come back, show them the certificate, then you can uplift your car. You have some photographs. Uncle and auntie who listening on the radio, I'm so sorry you can't see it, are putting up some photographs on the web page there so people on Facebook and YouTube can see it. You put them up? You guys want to know how I get the photographs? I had to take a $10 out my pocket, not US, their money, and give a young man on a bicycle to go and take them secretly on the side. That is Ghana. And that is the photograph you're looking at there now. You see how powerful the government of Ghana can be when they're dealing with their own citizens? You see the length and depth they will go to squeeze their own citizens doing hire car work to feed their families? But they're helpless and impotent when it comes to collecting their fair share of taxes and revenues from the foreigners who thieving the resources out of the country. Adam, is not the same thing happening in this country, man? Huh?
Yeah,
Like you can't dump too.
No. But we said
You don't pay your taxes in this country, uncle. GRA, the Guyana Revenue Authority, not Ghana, sending you letters upon letters, even threatening to take you before the court if you don't comply. On the other hand, ExxonMobil and the oil companies walking away without paying a penny in this land. And when our Vice President Jack Davis asked, when I asked him if I am to win the court case I brought against the government and ExxonMobil on taxes, what would be his reaction? What he said? You remember what he said? Uncle? He said, no side. He's on nobody's side. In other words, left you out of that. That's the answer he gave on my program, when he was on my program. By Shanlin already fetch out half of Guyana's timber. Oh my, Troy Resources, Zinjin, Aurora Gold Mines, and the others done fetch out half of Guyana's gold and diamond. Rusal and Boside, half of Guyana bauxite gone out this country already. Find out if any tax is paid with them. Wow. Let a Glenn Lall, a Mohammed, a Singh, or a Thomas get into the gold, timber, bauxite business and don't pay their taxes. See if they don't end up in front of the courts. Wow. Just the other day, Kaicho News reported that after 14 years operating in Guyana, fetching out wee bauxite every hour of the day, the Russian company Rusal, you hear that? The Russian company Rusal, 14 years, said they never made any profit. But they are still receiving billions in tax concessions and continue to do so on to this day, fetching out our bauxite and not making profit. This is the kind of bourgeois, the bourgeois leaders we have in third world countries. What kind of leaders would allow a foreign company to fetch out the people's wealth for 14 years and allow them to tell you that they make no profits, and you continuing giving them more tax concessions on top of that, man?
But
Yeah?
generally, the tax concession should only last for 10 years. All of them signed that, 10 years. So if we go to 14, something is wrong.
What happened? That these things happened under Bharat Jagdeo and continued under the Granger administration and now still continuing under the Ali administration. You know the real reason? You didn't see me do a live program Wednesday night gone? I was sick. I wasn't physically sick. I was sick of having to talk about these cunning, corrupt, and pathetic crooks we have for politicians. And I have to be honest, I am a little sick of talking to you. Talking to all of you 3 times a week. Writing in the paper 7 days a week. And no movements from any one of y'all. That's the honest truth. What happened Wednesday night. Make you guys didn't see me on the program. The government of Ghana have the foreigners fetching away all the wealth of the country and got the revenue officers policing their own people for taxes so that they can pay salaries and fix the mud roads for the millions of people. You gotta love these bourgeois clowns we have in third world countries for leaders. You have to love them. You see why Africa is the way it is? Where it is today? Guyana is heading right there with these bourgeois corrupt clowns we have for politicians. Right there we are heading. Look, Guyana find oil in 2015. And look who our politicians find out of all the leaders in the world for bring here to provide guidance to us. Look who they find. Former President Granger first brought in the President of Ghana. That same President of Ghana. A total failure. And when Jagdeo took over, he bring the Vice President of Ghana with an entire barrage of people to teach we how to run oil and gas business. Are you believe this thing? Of all the oil and gas leaders in the world, the only people they find are from Ghana.
Corrupted.
Failures. Jagdeo visited Ghana himself. I wonder what he been there for or what he saw. Did he see how the gas plant in Ghana ended up losing $250 million a year? And why they were losing that money? Because of corruption? Yes. They were losing $250 million a year, uncle, because of corruption and bad judgment, which the World Bank was part of too. I hope they did. I hope Jagdeo did. Because he's taking Guyana into the Wales gas plant, in which I can see Guyana turning into Ghana right there. Losing $250 million a year. And then they're going to turn around and use GRA, Guyana Revenue Authority, to see if the taxi and the truck drivers paying taxes. Yes. Man, I keep saying I can only turn on the light switch for you people to see. I can't lead you out the dark tunnel. You have to want to come out. Stand up. Speak out. I can't help you. they bring total failures in this country to create bigger failures for all of us. When David Granger brought the president of Ghana on a state visit, oh, Adam, oh, guess who he bring? Guess who he bring along with him? His own brother, who held no position in the government of Ghana. And he was sitting right there in the official meeting with President David Granger and the President of Ghana. Right there he was sitting, where he has no business whatsoever to do with anything. You have a picture there? Put it up on the screen, let them people see him. Yes, the brother of the President of Ghana is sitting with David Granger in a meeting discussing Guyana business. Or maybe he and I'll giving advice to Guyana. Adam, I am told something about why the brother of the president came along and why he's so close, why he was so close to the discussions. But I am still doing some fact checking. Yes, I'm doing some fact checking. Just ask yourself, why any head of state would take his brother on a state visit to another country when he has no role in the government? What is his real role? Huh? I'm going to tell you all later. I'm waiting on the information out of Ghana. Wow. This is Guyana. This is the beautiful Guyana. Ghana is in more trouble today than when I went there 2 months ago. More trouble today than when I went there 2 months ago. The people are living off loans from the World Bank and IMF. And they have just devalued their currency, which means more misery for the 36 million population they have there. Now they might not even find cassava to pong. Because when I went in another village and saw one woman ponging beer cassava, making fufu. And when I asked her where's the plantain, she said, no sir, no have. Governments dig these kind of holes for their countries and citizens when they engage in underhand business and do secret deals with foreigners. You hear what I said, Adam? You hear what I said there?
I hear you.
Thank you. The citizens wake up and learn that the wealth, the resources are all gone. Yeah, man. Let me repeat this thing for the umpteenth time, uncle and auntie. Guyana is not far from there. And I'm shining the light every Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays on this radio program. And daily in the newspapers about the many secret things going on right here with our own wealth. And nobody doing anything, and nobody saying anything. Y'all remember, I keep on asking Vice President Jagdeo at 2 press conferences and texted him before he came on my radio to please walk with the mining contracts they give to the foreigners. Oh, I just want to play him to shed the light how Bharat Jagdeo used to behave when he was president and continue to behave today, now as vice president. Yes, I'm going to play him if you don't remember when I asked him on my program about the contract. Secrecy, skullduggery and skullduggery Uncle and auntie is not your matty. It's not your matty. Could you play that tape, let the people hear him? I text you and ask you to bring the mining contracts that you have promised to bring and to make public. Have you brought it for us?
No, what? I'm not your post office.
No, I know that
But
you're not my post office.
I told you that
They have all refused.
these
refused.
are not with the office of the president. They're with the agencies.
And they have refused.
Every agreement that is signed that is sitting with the GRA or the agencies.
They have all refused to hand it over.
I told you the Freedom of Information Act allows you to take some steps.
Why do this nation, why the media has to be on a weekly basis behind a government to ask them, to beg them for something as simple as a mining contract?
But
you guys give out to foreigners.
Did Stacia write you back on the matter?
He did not write. I write station. I also wrote the GGMC, and they both.
So the GRA never responded to you?
They both said no.
But how did they say no? Did they respond and they told you?
Sir, like again.
No, but
again, I don't want to go down this road. 3 times I've asked you this at 2 different press conferences in which you made it clear that yes, and the law is very clear on that. The people of this country should and must see these contracts you people sign.
Which, not the oil contracts.
I'm talking about the mining contracts of gold, diamond,
because all the oil
timber,
contracts are available, publicly
manganese
available.
Contracts, all these contracts should be in the public domain, sir. Why are you guys keep hiding it from this nation? Why? I still cannot.
No. But
that.
you're characterizing this as hiding these contracts.
Well, I'm asking you. I've asked you many times.
For me personally, I don't see any reason why you should not have
and
these
I've been
contracts.
hearing that answer all the time.
But it's the agencies. I don't have
As
these
Vice
contracts.
President, I'm asking you tonight on this radio. Would you make your duty and ensure that this is being released to the public?
So
to
I
the media?
I can undertake to find out with you there what provision the GRA is so cagey about that it doesn't want to release.
GGMC
and GGMC. So I can undertake to do
the
that.
law is very clear.
I don't
on that.
know. Yes, if the law is that these contracts have to be made public, they should be made public. I think no. I just think that there may be proprietary things that they're worried about. But if the law is clear, then they should release these contracts. There is nothing in there to hide.
All right, let me make it more clear and simple for you, sir. Propriety information, I don't need.
All right. So
nobody needs that.
Then I will undertake that anything that is not proprietary, that you get it released.
And you're
because I will personally now see that this happens.
And you're not going to tell me that concessions is part of propriety.
No.
You're not going to tell me that the deal, the contractual arrangement between Guyana
But concessions are public issues. What people get in their contracts.
Thank you. So we'll hold we'll hold you to that. Thank you, sir.
But this one here is just been going on for too long. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Simple mining contracts. Hear him? Wow. Uncle and auntie, why the media have to keep asking this vice president about something as basic as a mining contract that by law must be disclosed to the public for us to see? Why? You guys listen to his answer. You hear the back and forth between me and him. How he going wrong and wrong. How he playing games with words. With a simple question. When will the country see these contracts? So again I ask, what is he hiding? What he doesn't want us to see? What is he fearful of? Why he got to go to these lengths to play these games, uncle. Why? You hear him, Adam? I am like the Energizer battery. You know the Energizer bunny? Everywhere I see them, I will get in their faces for these contracts. And all of you should add your voices whenever you see them and shout out to them. We want to see the Oh My contract. Zinjin, Bosai, and Rusal, all the mining contracts that everyone of them sign. You need to demand it, uncle. You need to demand to see how they're thieving we wealth, leaving our brothers and sisters hungry, leaving the policemen and women, the nurses, the public servants, with a few scranky looking Guyana dollars when the month comes salaries. We need to see it. Uncle, we need to. The few cents or the few dollars these people are getting as salaries is buying less and less as the days go by in this country. And every one of you silent. You guys hear him say, after going wrong and wrong, up and down, how he will ensure that we will get the contracts. You heard him. Well, 4 weeks done gone. We are still waiting on them from the vice president. Let's give him a few more days. He must have been busy with the cricket and carnival. So we'll give him a few more days. Auntie, if Jagdeo behaving like that with these mining contracts, which are tiny when compared with this US $1 trillion oil contract, you think any one of us would have ever seen that oil contract that David Granger released? Huh?
Yeah.
If these mining contracts so tiny, you think Guyana would have ever see that this $1 trillion oil contract that David Granger released to the public by Jagdeo?
Thanks to Granger.
Huh? 50 generations would have come and go. And Jagdeo will still be saying, I will undertake, I will look in, and I will see that the contract be released. Just like what he said to me repeatedly about the mining contracts just now. Yes. This may not go down well. It may not go down well with some of you. But you got to give Jackie jacket. And fair, where fair play is concerned, you got to be fair. All of us should throw milk at David Granger's foot. And let's thank him for doing that one great deed, releasing the oil contract for us to see. Man, auntie and uncle, hadn't that man done that, you would have never have a program like this. You would have never had newspaper articles, and you would not have heard anything from the international community, because none of us, nobody, would have known what went on and what ExxonMobil did and are doing to Guyana, hadn't that contract been in the public domain. You hear me, man?
Yeah,
You guys understand what I'm saying? Hadn't that contract been in the public, none of us would have known anything. Nothing. You wouldn't even know that you get 2%. And 25%. And the 25%, after they don't take out 75% for cast oil, that little 25% are split half and half. You will never know. And that was Jagdeo saying, is 50-50 profit sharing. I have to do a special program on that to explain to you this 50-50 profit sharing. What these clowns going around and fooling Guyana about.
Exactly.
Let's go back to the contract. That contract is one of the greatest deed ever happened to this country.
One of the worst deeds.
Yes. For me, it's the greatest gift
Right.
any leader has given to its country, releasing this contract. And we should also thank Jan Mangal because he played a role in it. Harmon, Greenwich, Tratman, Sir Sridhat Ramphal, and the rest of them didn't want Granger to release that contract. No, none of them wanted that contract be released. Don't ask me why. I can't answer the question. Or don't ask me what's going through your mind, why they don't want to. Or what transaction went on between them. Don't ask me, I don't know. I'm playing my head in good tonight. Ghana, trying to get out the foreigners from their country. By the time we get these mining contracts from Jagdeo, the foreigners will run we out of Guyana. Thanks, Dr. Jagdeo. Thank you. And now, let me take you to the end of this program. With this other gold nugget from the government. Yes, let me end with this another gold nugget. Yes, from our government. Yesterday, they concluded a 3-day oil conference at the Guyana Pegasus. This event was organized by the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Guyana. The people got over 600 members. This oil meeting, Adam, was set up to form business partnerships between Guyanese and foreign investors. Now, Adam, an oil conference is being held in a country. One would expect the government to fully participate and have all its people present to add their bit or to learn something. Not true, man? Especially a newcomer in the oil business like Guyana. You want to have everybody there. Oh, uncle, I'm sorry for this country. And I'm sorry for you. I went to one in Trinidad, an oil conference in Trinidad 3 years ago. And the entire government of Trinidad and Tobago, from the Prime Minister right down, were all present throughout the conference and partake in every panel discussion they had. Everyone. Our oil conference ended. The 3-day ended. And not the president, the vice president, the minister, or Winston Brasington had the decency to show their faces even for a minute at that forum.
They don't care.
It was an absolute embarrassment to the people of this country. Man, just imagine, we had a number of oil and gas experts who came into this country for this forum and give advice, and none of our government officials were present. Eh? Although their names were on the programs. Yes.
That tells you something.
Not a single one of them were present.
That tells you something.
Winston Brasington, who is heading this $2 billion US gas plant at Wales, was expected to be part of a panel discussion on day 2 of the event. The discussion concluded And Winston Brassington was nowhere to be seen in the forum. The audience who had questions for him had to go back home clueless and empty-handed, just like the rest of Guyana. Imagine knowledgeable people in the oil and gas sector flying to we country to advise and share their expertise with the government and others. But the people end up speaking to themselves and the Chamber of Commerce people only. How you like that? Huh? Oh, before Josh opened the phone lines, I would like to take a moment to wish all my Muslim brothers and sisters a blessed and peaceful Yom Nabi, which will be observed on Sunday. God bless you and have a great weekend.